Oh yeah, this right here is music to my ears.
But Iowa and North Carolina are really states that should be in the bag for President Trump right now. That's an indication as to how much trouble he's in politically right now, Wolf. And as this crowd is chanting that there are members of the press here who suck, I should also point out, Wolf, what also sucks, getting the coronavirus.
Right, Wolf, absolutely. I just wanted to say that while we were here, the crowd behind us, Trump supporters, started chanting 6-3. You can hear we're getting a little bit of commentary here. It's a crowd of Trump to say that while we were here, the crowd behind us, Trump supporters, started chanting 6-3. You can hear we're getting a little bit of commentary here. It's a crowd of...
What? Whoa, what's this?
To the Supreme Court. I want to play what he said.
CNN trying to do some real reporting? I don't believe it. Let's see.
This video is brought to you by Extreme Tees. Click on the link below. Make sure you put Kevin in the promo code and you'll get a 20% discount.
What's going on, America? Kevin from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. And every blue moon, when the stars and the moon just happens to line up perfectly, when everything just falls in place, like you have one of those good hair days, or one of those days where you got to go out to some event and everything just seems to lay beautifully. Your clothes seem to fit nicely. That zit that's been hanging around on the side of your face decides to leave. Yeah, makeup lays on just perfectly. One of those situations where you look in the mirror and you say to yourself, man, if I wasn't me, I'd want to be me. Yeah, one of those perfect type days. Well, I just might have found it. CNN, y'all, got the nerve to try to do some real reporting. Now, we all know that, they in the tank with the Democratic Party. Usually, they don't ask them no tough questions. They bring them on. I'm sure a lot of those times it's rehearsed. All right, we're going to bring you on, but don't worry, we're not going to hurt you. We're just going to ask you whatever questions you tell us to ask you. See, that's usually what happened. But for some reason, since this big hot topic has popped off, which is Joe Biden, creepy, sleepy, sloppy, slimy, sleazy Joe, and Kamala Harris refuses to answer a question. Now, I would think, considering this right here is not a tough question to ask, I would think that they would just go ahead and ask it if they want to put their voters at ease and even some independence when it comes down to this issue of packing the court. Now, I'm thinking, why is this a tough question? Joe, do you not understand the question? What are you really going to do that you can't tell us what you're going to do up front? Makes me a little concerned, little suspicious, Joe Biden. Yeah, man. See, anytime a leader decides, well, you know what? I'm supposed to be a public servant and be responsible to the people. I'm supposed to be campaigning and winning over the hearts of Americans to make those Americans that already feel that the country is divided feel a little more at ease with bringing me in. That I'm not going to get in and become rogue and decide to just start making up all type of new policies that might just upend our whole way of life and stack or become really one-sided or lopsided to help one group and not the others. Yeah, man. See, my gut tells me that if Democrats get in power, we're in trouble. They would like to bend every rule, rewrite everything to fit their narrative or to help them out to where it puts them in business for the rest of eternity, or at least the rest of the United States will be about 37 days if they get in charge. So with that being said, this whole issue of stacking the court, Joe should put everybody at ease and say, no, I'm not. I mean, you saw Kamala Harris get up there. Joe won't raise taxes, even though we know that was a lie. Joe won't, do this. We're not in the Green New Deal, even though it all looks like the first Green New Deal. But you know what? We don't want to get into that. So because they've been tiptoeing around this question, and everybody's antennas going up, I guess Joe decided to send one of his representatives onto CNN. Most of the time, it's a nice, safe space. Yeah, CNN is that safe space for like all the snowflakes and corrupt politicians to go on TV because they know, no, we ain't gonna ask you no tough stuff. But the stars and the moon must have aligned because Jake Snapper Tapper brings on, I guess, one of Joe Biden's surrogates and exposes her. She's about to do exactly what that last guy did when it was asked, do Joe Biden have a teleprompter? Now, you know what? See, I'm not even going to answer that. I'm not going to. Well, by you not answering that, just answered it. Let's check out this rare moment in time. CNN actually did some good journalism. Here we go.
On this question of adding justices to the Supreme Court, I want to play what he said.
It's not constitutional what they're doing. We should be focused on what's happening right now. This court is being packed now by the Republicans after the vote has already begun. I'm going to stay focused on it so we don't take our eyes off the ball here.
Y'all hear that? Joe Biden's talking about, hey man, I ain't going to tell you nothing yet because, you know, man, stuff just getting started. We want to stay focused. And if I tell y'all now, then that's going to be, I guess, in the headlines and all that stuff. We're going to keep our eye on the ball. And I'm saying now, I can see if this was something that never had popped up in the history of America before, something we couldn't predict, like, for example, the coronavirus. You know, that's a tough question. Well, we know there's never been a coronavirus outbreak yet in America, but just in case there were one, how would you handle it? See, that right there is something you can't make a predetermination on if it never happened. But something like packing the court, yeah, you can answer that question. It's not a tough one. But Joe decides not to. And he's saying that who's really packing the court is not them. Now, this is how much they don't respect their low voting IQ audience or viewers on CNN and the Democrats, to where they just somehow magically switched it up in their head and said, you know who's really packing those courts? It's the Republicans. Now, they haven't explained how they're doing that. Kamala Harris hinted about it by simply saying, because we don't have any black people on the courts that people been appointed to, that's what packing the court means. And I'm saying, no, that's not what that means. See, we're still appointing the exact amount of judges that's required. We're not going over. We're not stacking the deck. We're not violating no constitutional norms. But the true definition of stacking the court, which Joe knows about because in the past he discouraged it. Same thing with Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the one that we all supposed to honor her last words. But what about all the other words? Like, you know what? A president is not the president for 3.5 years. They're the president for 4. Or how about the time when she said, we've been doing well with 9 Supreme Court justices. I'm not in favor of stacking the court. But now, you know, let's get all that out the way. We don't want to believe what we actually heard and saw from Ruth Bader Ginsburg. We want to believe something that someone said she said when she died. Last breath. Don't let me be replaced by Trump. I don't think too many people would have that thought in their head on the way out the door. But nonetheless, that's what they're trying to make us believe. And like I said, they don't respect their audience. And so I guess Jake Tapper must have had a brain lapse or something. I bet you he's going to get fined for this one afterwards. Look what he does to this reporter who tries to feed him and us some doo-doo and tell us it's chocolate.
All right, I want to get to the idea of adding justices to the court in a second, but he said it's not constitutional what they're doing. How is it not constitutional what they're doing?
His point is that the people have an opportunity to weigh in on this constitutional process through their vote. And we are now in the midst of the election. Millions of people have already cast their votes. And you see that the vast majority of people say that they want the person who wins the election on November 3rd to nominate the justice.
That's
to
a poll.
take this
That's
seat.
not the Constitution.
So by trying to By trying to, that is there's the constitutional process of advise and consent. The American people get to have their say by voting for president, by voting for senators. We are now 23 days from the election.
Right, but it's not
Again,
unconstitutional.
Millions of votes. Voters are being denied their constitutional right to have a say in this process.
They
when
elected
the Republicans
the Senate.
are trying to ram through a nominee who, by the way, is going to change the makeup of the court. And we see time and time again, poll after poll shows that most Americans vehemently disagree with this. They believe
Kate, that's
that
a
the
poll.
vote should happen on November 3rd.
That's not what the word constitutional means. Constitutional doesn't mean I like it or I don't like it. It means it's according to the U.S. Constitution. There's nothing unconstitutional about what the U.S. Senate is doing.
Now, in one of those rare moments, Jake Snapper actually got in her grill. You see her try to rely on folks don't know what the Constitution means. Now, granted, maybe they can get away with that because when they just show up and tell their whole audience racism, sexism, xenophobia, they don't talk about policies. However, what she's trying to tell Jake is popular opinion is constitutional, not the Constitution. And she also just assumes poll after poll says that most Americans would rather the next president to pick that nominee. What? I mean, what polls are you looking at? No poll came to me. No one bumped on my doors. You mean Kevin from Kevin Corner? What would you think should happen? I'd say, man, if we don't pick one tomorrow, I'm going to have a fit. That's what I would have said, because I don't trust these folks when it comes down to that. The fact that they're already plotting and scheming to pack the court through their silence and denial to answer the question concerns me and further confirms why we should ensure that another judge, just a constitutionalist, get put on the ballot, on the court. Now, you see her, she's going to get fired when she get back to, the campaign. I don't know what you want me to tell him. I'm trying to lie to these folks for you, Joe Biden, and for y'all Democrats, trying to convince folks that for some reason, this new definition of packing the court and this new definition of what's constitutional and what's not makes sense. But there was no way she could make sense out of that nonsense. I know she was juggling right now, and her brain was like, oh crap, I'm about to get the hammer if I don't make sense out of this, but you can't do it. And Jake Snapper, in his credit, he actually revealed just what they up to by pushing that issue and not letting her get away with something like that. Stupid stuff. But check it out though, y'all. They did it again. CNN actually pushed something again to one of the Democrats that shocked me. Y'all ready for it? I don't think you're ready. For part 2 of CNN accidentally, maybe, or even intentionally doing some real journalism. Let's check this one out.
So this is, I have every confidence in what and the arguments that we make because it's based on science.
I certainly respect you, but I also respect Ro Khanna. I respect Andrew Yang. I respect members of the Democrats who are members of the problem solvers. They want a deal because so many people right now
well,
are
the problem
suffering.
solvers, by the way, don't have any earned income tax credit or child tax credit in their proposal either. But let's not go into that.
Yeah,
you
we've
evidently
gone through
do
that.
not respect the chairman of the committees who wrote these bills.
I respect
and
all
I
of
wish
you.
you would respect the knowledge that goes into getting meeting the needs of the American people.
Ooh, your kisses, sweeter than honey. RESPECT. Find out what it means to me. Bag of Bones wants some respect. Now, respect to her means woof. Don't you question me. You understand that? I don't care nothing about no problem solvers. You talk Andrew Yang and all the rest of these whippersnappers. I've been here since day one. That's why they call me Bag of Bones. You think that's just a nickname? No, man. I've been here since day one. And Bag of Bones seems to think she knows best. So I guess Blitz or Must, I don't know if it's, the studio manager said, now Blitz, we all know that Bag of Bones' time is limited. And we want to start shifting our attention towards the younger Democrats. So push their narrative. And Nancy, she didn't like it. She didn't like it. She brought it out like, look here. First of all, it's cool and all with the sarcasm. It's nice that these Pop-Tarts, these little snot-nosed kids got some ideas and stuff. But me, I've been around. And you know what you need to do, Blitz? You need to start respecting. Now, she tried to push it off on respecting the people over the chair. But what she was really saying, you need to be respecting me, okay? I'm nasty. I'm Nasty Nance. Okay?
Speaker, these are incredibly difficult times right now, and we'll leave it on that note. Thank you so much for joining us.
We'll leave it on the vote that you are not right on this, Wolf, and I hate to say that to you. But I feel confident about it, and I feel confident about my colleagues, and I feel confidence in my chairs.
That right there gives me the Santa Claus jolly laugh with his shoulders gaggle. I almost have to go with the Ace Ventura. Or maybe what's the Professor Club? Something. Because that right there was funny. See, Nasty Nance felt insulted that Wolf kept asking questions, kept challenging her. Nasty Nance got nasty. She don't like when folks question her authority, her complete tyranny. See, so Wolf pushes a little too far. And now she tries to slide in that last little jab on Wolf, like, yeah, thanks and all that. You know, we about to bounce and get out of here. But next time, when I tell you something, you just listen. You understand? Don't be coming back asking no dumb questions. Yeah, I'm glad you gave me the chance to expose you and tell you how wrong you were and how stupid you are and how much you've been trying to help out the Republicans and their narratives. And I'm thinking, what? I mean, CNN is the biggest friend to the Democrats ever. Them and MSNBC, they all are just one big happy family. But she went a little too far. Wolf was trying to give her the way out graciously, but Nancy threw that last jab. See, that's what gets you. See, the fight was over, but here go Nasty Nance. Tried to, make it stink, and Wolf had to come back and rattle those old bones. Let's listen to these bones knocking.
It's not about me. It's about millions of Americans who can't put food on the table, who can't pay the rent,
and
who are
we
having
represent
trouble,
them. And we represent them.
Getting
and
by.
we represent
these
them.
long food
and
lines
we
that we're seeing.
them.
I know
we
you
know
are.
them.
I'm just saying.
We represent them, and we know them.
As we say,
we know them. We represent them.
Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good, as they say.
It is nowhere near perfect.
Madam Speaker.
Always the case, but we're not even close to the good.
All right, let's see what happens, because every day is critically, critically important. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for your sensitivity to our constituents' needs.
I am sensitive to them because I see them on the street begging for food, begging for money. Madam Speaker, thank you so much.
Have you fed them? We feed them. We feed them.
We'll continue this conversation down the road for sure. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Did y'all hear that? Nasty Nance. She was expecting to have a nice, clean exit. And Wolf got back in her like, okay, see, now, I was trying to let you go, but then you're going to throw this last blow. So it ain't about me. It's about the people. See, unlike Nasty Nancy and the rest of the Democrats, I guess he went on the whole people, issue. I mean, because normally they don't say that. It's whatever the Democrats say and do is okay with them. But Wolf must have had a brain lapse. Maybe he fell out the bed, bumped his head, came into work thinking, hey, I can't even remember being fake news. For some reason, I feel like I'm a real journalist. At least that's what they taught me in college. So he asked a follow-up question and brought it to the people. Nancy got real mad. You hear that? And yeah, and we know them. We know them. Really, Nance? How many times you think she walks through her funky district? Maybe she don't go in enough to see all of that dookie all over the place from the homeless people. Maybe she don't see those tents and stuff lined up on the streets, when she talks about, I got to make sure my microphone's still on. Yeah, when she talks about all of that stuff of, we know them. Do you really? How many folks in your district do you actually know? Do you even listen to your district? Have you been there? Have you walked amongst all of those needles all over the place? You wouldn't want to scuff up those nice shoes and those nice clothes of yours, would you, Nasty? You don't want to leave the comforts of your big old refrigerator, no? Okay, yeah. You wouldn't want to have to, cancel your hair appointment during the COVID outbreak so you could actually do some work? No, not you. So she gets a little mad, and Blitz keeps it going, and it got physical. On the way out, she had the nerve to say, yeah, first of all, she went to the old school kid, I can't hear you, all of that, when she kept just drowning him out with, and I know them, we know them, we know them. Yeah, we know them. All of that stuff, that was nothing more than revert back to my child instinct of just, yeah, boo, boy, I can't hear you, all of that stuff. But on the way out, had the nerve to say, have you fed them? We have. How? When? What are you talking about? If you fed them, you wouldn't have a whole plethora of homeless folks in your district. If you really cared about the people, you would swallow your pride. It wouldn't be about giving Trump a win. It would be about helping the people. But that's too much for her. And she talked about the two differences in their policies and their bills. Well, yeah, because see, if you're going to spend that much money, it should be on Americans. It should be focused on things like the people, their jobs, their medical, all of the stuff that's important to Americans, not illegal immigrants, not stuff that we don't need. We need money for the new voting ballots to be shipped out all over the place. All of that unnecessary money has nothing to do with COVID, and I don't want to pay for it. But because Nancy and her crew have an ulterior motive, they want to hold up things until they get their way. Political hostages. You know, that's what they're making us say. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. You're going to have to starve until we get our needs met. And Wolf pushes it and exposes her as a hypocrite, a big old baby, and the real tyrant that they claim Trump is. Oh, he doesn't care about the people. But I do, as I let them starve in my district. But I know them. And do you feed them, Blitz? Well, do you? How many folks done came to Nasty Nancy's mansion and chilled out? I ain't talking about the rich friends. I'm talking about the folks from her. Oh, my bad. She probably lives way far away from her district and everything. They can't make it. So anyway, yeah. I mean, I was impressed on both of these rare occasions that CNN commentators actually pushed the bar. So when I see something like that, I got to give credit where credit is due. My hat goes off to Jake Snapper and the one of the reindeers, Blitzer. Hat goes off. Now, don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe, notification button. Check me out every Wednesday live in Kevin's Corner on Facebook, YouTube, Facebook, YouTube, and my radio blog talk show. And what else? Check out Extreme Tees. And if you want to see some of my uncensored material, check out kcuncensored.com. When you check out Extreme Tees, though, make sure you put Kevin in the promo code. You'll get a 20% discount. That's what you will get. And other than that, if you want to donate to Kevin and Kevin's Corner, feel free and hit that like button. Share this video. All right, God bless. Take care. Bye-bye.